Welcome back to minute 29. I'm Brian.
29. I am Wolf.
And this is X Minutes, the podcast that takes the longest running superhero franchise to date and breaks it down one mutating minute at a time. This is the 29th minute of the first X-Men. And Wolf, what happened in this exposition? In this expo minute. I don't know. That was a horrible joke. I'm so sorry.
Xavier is still explaining through narration to Logan what's going on, but we're still in the classroom setting, and we see Johnny, or Pyro, he makes this fireball behind him with his lighter, and then Bobby, Iceman, freezes the fire as a prank, and Johnny drops it and it shatters on the floor. This never really made any sense to me, because it doesn't. I mean, I don't know how you could freeze fire, but it is pretty cool.
Yeah. You're right. Maybe, is he like Frozone where he needs moisture so he can add moisture to that and also
I'm not sure.
Freezing the gas?
That would be, let's see here.
But also, like, how does Pyro's powers work? Because, of course, he needs fire to start it, but then he clearly grew it.
Yeah, maybe it's like he's got like he creates some natural gas or something from.
Yeah, because it's not, his powers aren't a flamethrower. If the gas stops, his powers don't go away. He can control the fire once he's got it and make it bigger. Man, I never thought about that. I just thought, he froze it.
Like, what was it in X2 when like that huge explosion, like when the cops come to Billy's parents' house or whatever, he like manipulates the fire too. Like, I think he shields them from that explosion. I think, if I'm not mistaken. So maybe he just, Annie explains to Magneto, he's like, I can't create it. I can just control it. So maybe maybe he controls fire the way Magneto controls metal. So I don't know. It's pretty interesting, but it is kind of cool that Bobby, like I said Billy before, but it's kind of cool that Bobby freezes the flame. They get in trouble for it a little bit from Storm. And right after that, at around, 24, Bobby introduces himself to Rogue. Clearly setting it up that they're going to be, love interests. And he creates I didn't know this when I saw it back in the day, but it's an ice rose. He puts his hand on her desk and creates this rose out of ice, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, what did you think it was back in the day?
I just thought it was like a formless ice ball because honestly, when you think about it, even if it was just a formless ice ball, that's still pretty cool.
You can put this in your Scotch glass.
Yeah, any chick would be like, "Oh, that's pretty badass," but it was in fact a rose, which is.
How old were you when you saw this movie? You said what grade?
I was 11 years old, I think. 11 or 12. So.
Man, what us 11-year-olds thought could impress.
Yeah, right? It's
like she has to be impressed by an ice ball.
Exactly. Let alone an ice rose. But he's like, I don't know, you can tell but it's funny. So seeing this film and seeing the actor that plays Bobby, I don't know if it was him or his twin brother, but they're both actors, I believe. He was in Animorphs. So that's what I was thinking the entire time seeing this actor.
Oh!
And I thought Animorphs was real because it was set up like found footage kind of. And so I was like...
Because it was set up like what?
Like found footage kind of. Because in the beginning of the show, they would always speak directly into the camera. And,
nice. I know I watched it once. I remember I read the books a bunch more. And I would flip through the pages and watch the Animorph change in the corner of the page.
That's really cool.
But I don't remember which episode or whatever of It was a TV show?
Yeah, it was a TV show on Nickelodeon or ever. It was pretty...
I didn't see a lot of that.
I rewatched it. It's on YouTube now. I rewatched it and I was like, wow, I can't believe I thought this was real life. But children turning into dogs and things. But
I've said it on one of these episodes on one of these podcasts, but that was like me going back to Beast Wars.
Oh, I was obsessed with Beast Wars.
This is not as good as Pokemon was.
Yeah. That's a discussion for another day, but I was obsessed with Beast Wars. But and I watched it recently on YouTube, but so much of that made absolutely no sense. But
I was obsessed too, and then I remember years ago when I went back to rewatch it to wonder if that was as good as Pokemon still was. There would be like 15 seconds of just seeing the cheetah run across some plains with nothing happening,
right, yeah.
and it's like, oh man, that's just filling up those seconds, aren't you?
Like one part, before I get back to the clip, the one part where they get to prehistoric Earth and they're like, we need to blend in. And then it's like, I will be Cheetor. It's like, who created the name Cheetah for you to call yourself Cheetor in this prehistoric world? I don't understand. Rat trap. Where did the word rat come from?
How do you know that's a rat?
Why don't you come over?
How do you know that's rat? Yeah. And how, when people find your metal skeletons and it says Rator on it, well, they'd be like, he did look like a rat.
It's like, he looked like a rat. Wow. It's like...
Optimus Primus or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Optimus Primal, maybe?
Yeah, he was like the gorilla.
Gorilla.
God. But, their battles, I guess the Earth was filled with that fuel. So that was their whole... That was the MacGuffin. But anyway...
Man, there's so much that I've forgotten about that show.
It's ridiculous. But, so at 48 seconds is when Professor X is talking to Logan about, not the school, but the superhero part of the whole organization.
And right before that, I laughed when he said, welcome to Mutant High, because I thought, isn't it Sky High?
Yeah, right.
But one detail that I never noticed was that the license plate, and I'm sure the numbers 997156 have something to do with the comics, but the license plate is a handicapped license plate.
Oh, wow.
So that is Xavier's car, that fancy, I don't know what type of car that is.
That's really cool.
But it definitely looks more expensive than anything I've ever bought.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's handicapped. I don't know what kind of car that is. It looks like some type of James Bond 1960s Porsche or something like that. But let's see. What was I going to say about... We're at 47, and I'm going to correct myself from what I said before. You said the lower levels is where the laboratory and all the superhero shit takes place. So I thought he was going down into the school. I thought it was the upper level, but yeah.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. I didn't even catch you saying that. I thought...
Yeah, because when he got in the elevator, I thought he was going down, but he was actually going up. But I guess it really doesn't make a difference.
Gotcha. And then this plane, the plane that's mentioned in Iron Man, which obviously Kevin Feige also worked on, when Iron Man's trying to break the altitude record and his suit ices up, they mention the jet that has that record, and that's the jet that this Quinjet was inspired by.
Oh, dang.
The design was inspired by.
That's so dope. Dang.
But it's interesting. They open up the door, and it looks like they're just going back into the room that he was, like... that Jean Grey had him on, kinda. Oh. And then it just does this fade to the jet room.
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
Yeah. They were just
like, I guess that was the only shot they had of a door opening.
It's like, in post, they were like, you know what? We're not going to do any reshoots. Let's just take this out.
We've already done our reshoots.
But yeah, this whole sequence was done so well, I think. Just the introduction of... because, essentially we're finding out about the school minute by minute, just like Logan is. So we're finding out everything from his perspective or his point of view or whatever. And I like that a lot. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like they didn't just...
He's the Harry Potter.
Yeah. So they didn't just throw everyone into... because kids or fans back in the day would have, if they would have just been like, we're the X-Men already. Fans would have been like, oh, great. But I think for the not superhero fan, they had to ease them into it. So
I forgot to mention when he says a Magneto is a very powerful mutant that he's been keeping tabs on, he could have said, and I've been keeping tabs on him since the 60s.
Oh,
we were besties, and I saved his life.
Since we were besties and I saved his life, and then he said this and that, just super specific things. And then he put that coin through that guy's head, and then...
oh, gosh. And when we see the jet, I wonder if they were actually in the room with a jet, because it's a pretty good wide shot with Logan and Xavier, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was all CGI.
Yeah.
We do see that little opening at the top.
Yeah, that is pretty
circular teeth, although at around 54 seconds, do you think that jet is too big to just rise up out of that circle? Or is it just the camera angle?
I think that, like, I don't know, I think whoever digitally created that, I mean, it doesn't look like it could just rise out. It looks like it would probably, like, the tip would just, snag a little bit. They'd have to, like, raise the back out first. It's like, back thrusters, back thrusters. It's like, it really wasn't well planned. But I mean, it might just be like a terrible angle because we can't see the rest of the circle from this angle.
Yeah, and then just jumping back to the 30th second when he asked what's going to happen to her, and Xavier says, well, that's up to her. Rejoin the world as an educated young woman or stay on to teach others to become what the children have affectionately called xmen. So it's interesting. In the school, you have the choice of leave the school, find a profession, or stay on, teach, and occasionally risk your life.
Yeah. Kick the crap out of people, yeah, I wonder what the ratio is of, like, people who, like, go to the school and get a great education and then go on and try to blend in with regular society compared to those who stick around and do whatever.
It must be like 1% of 1%, because the only new teacher I ever saw was Logan.
Yeah, right.
This trilogy. And even when Xavier dies in the third one, just the new headmistress is Storm.
Yeah, right. They don't like
get someone to replace her.
That'd be funny. Like, they're
role.
like they're on LinkedIn trying to find someone. Like, what is your experience with mutants? None?
Especially as time goes on. Be like, the school got raided when I was like 7.
Yeah, right.
And I got darted. So,
it's like,
I don't know. Is that a higher risk out there or just staying here?
It's like, I saw Professor Logan stab someone in the chest with his... with his club.
I mean, don't get me wrong, they had a gun pointed at my face, so, if I had to choose one or the other, I'd rather have that. But also, I saw a man get stabbed in the chest.
It's like, it was really traumatic. They should have, like, they probably have, like, on-campus psychiatrists, too. Or maybe that's just Professor X. He's just a psychiatrist.
Oh, yeah. I'm just going to go into your mind and make you feel differently about it. All right. That's been minute 29.
Yep. I am Wolf.
I am Legend.
And we are the best at what we do.
And what we do is not very fast, and that's the last time I'm going to make that I am Legend. See you in the next minute.